Welcome loves to my YouTube channel. My name is VassaOlga. In today's review comparison video, we're going to be doing Givenchy versus L.A.Girl and Sephora concealers. These duo, Sephora and L.A.Girl, are my favorite products and I use them a lot in my routine. And today I want to compare them to a high-end product and we're going to see which one is better. And maybe they're pretty much similar. I want to compare them side by side. Let's get started. This is a big applicator from Givenchy and I talked about this in my previous review. And you don't really need much of this product. The coverage is good. It's brightening concealer. The formula is really nice. And let's add a little bit right here. For my right side, I'm going to be doing L.A.Girl concealer for my under eye area. And the application is happening with a brush, with the bristles, I guess. This is the lightest shade, but if I'm not mistaken, L.A.Girl, they do have white concealer. The color from Givenchy is the lightest. The one that I have is N80 for neutral undertone. Both of these formulas are liquid. They're not full coverage concealers. I don't really do full coverage concealers. And for my right side, over my forehead, I use Best Skin Ever Sephora concealer. And for my chin, I want to do the same amount of product. Let it sit for a couple of seconds. I don't really want to leave it for a long period of time. For Sephora, you get only 5 milliliters. And the price is pretty much expensive, but it's not expensive. It's above the average price. It's definitely not a drugstore product, but you get only 5 milliliters. Here, they were generous. It's 11 milliliters. It's twice bigger the size, the volume, than Sephora. And let's compare this to my L.A.Girl concealer, the one that I have. And it says 8 grams. My L.A.Girl concealer has even more product than Sephora. But still, Givenchy has the most of the product. It's good. It's gonna last you so much longer. And I use my concealers a lot, but I can tell you for sure that it's still gonna last for a year or so. Let's compare both of these sides. This one is so fair. It's more like on the white side of the product. This one has a little bit more yellow to it, so it's more like neutral color, though both of these concealers, Sephora and my L.A.Girl, they are for neutral undertones. I'm gonna use my beauty blender, and it's damn beauty blender. Let's see how my Sephora blends. You can tell it's pretty well blended. And I can see that it has a little bit of color. It's always a little bit harder to blend out my chin area, but still it's really, really good. Sometimes I try to help myself with the brush, but still if you use your beauty blender, it's gonna look nice. Okay, my finger. You can tell it's not super liquid and it's not giving a lot of coverage. You can actually see some of my skin. So it's not like a full coverage concealer. It's just going to brighten up your under eye area, but it's not going to do anything crazy. Let's do with my beauty blender. Some blending. Definitely can use a brush. Let's go with my left side. Okay, it blends out nicely, though at first I thought that it's stuck in place and it's going to be really hard to blend out. You can see that, yeah, we still have a spot. You need some time to blend this out, but it's because we left it to sit for some period of time. I don't really see any discoloration between both of these concealers. They're looking the same. Well, it took some time to blend out this area. It's buildable and it's blendable. Blending underneath my eyes. You can tell that there's a spot where we applied this concealer, but again, we can blend this out if we take some time. Honestly, I think this side is a little bit more brightening, especially for my under eye area, because the color was a little bit paler than this one. But the overall look, it is pretty seamless. It's looking really pretty for both of my sides. The concealer, both of these concealers, 3 of these concealers, they're giving the dewiness to my skin, which I really like. Today, I want to use my loose powder instead of press and powder, because we know that press and powder work really well. Let's see how it works with loose powder. This one is from Makeup Revolution. Well, honestly, I think my L.A.Girl concealer is actually not leaving as much product as Givenchy. I think Givenchy might give a little bit more product and getting into my fine lines just a tiniest bit. I don't really know, gritty texture. I don't know how to explain this, but you can tell there's a small difference, if you can tell. It's just a slightest change. But I noticed this in my previous review, actually, the same thing. So I use my puff and I take some of the product on the back of the hand And just let's set the whole face with my triangular puff. Okay, let me show you the difference. I don't know if you can see this with my camera. I think Givenchy concealer with a little bit of powder on top showed my wrinkles, and it's kind of like into my fine lines. Nothing crazy and dramatic, but I feel like this side is more natural and seamless, and it does feel a little bit more flawless. It feels like a little bit cakey. Givenchy L.A.Girl. I'm gonna finish the rest of my makeup. By the way, it's 1:45 p.m., guys. We're gonna start the clock now because, well, I set my foundation and I set my concealers with a powder. I want to film a little bit different video, and yeah, we're gonna do a wear test and see which one is going to perform better. It is 2 p.m., almost 2 p.m. I've been wearing this makeup for, I don't know, maybe an hour or so. Let's look at my under eye area. By the way, I did set my under eye area with the powder, with loose powder, with setting spray, and then with loose powder without any setting spray. Givenchy side and L.A.Girl side. I think my under eye area is really similar, but from my point of view, Givenchy has a little bit more cakiness to it. Well, it's not visible. It's not going to catch your attention if you're not looking closely, as I'm doing right now. But I think if we try to compare both of these products, L.A.Girl I like a little bit more. And by the way, the coverage is good for both sides, to be honest. Well, guys, it's 9 p.m. and I've been wearing this makeup for over 8 hours. And let me show you the final results. I have a couple of dots from my mascara. This one is Essence mascara. It's not waterproof. That is the main reason why I still have a couple of dots. But if we're talking about the under eye area, this is Givenchy, and I think it's good. It's staying in place. It's not creasing. I don't really have a lot of concealer in my fine lines, but it feels a little bit cakey for this side. It's... the texture is weird. I don't understand how to explain it, but I feel tiny grades of powder, I guess, mixed with my concealer, and that is the main reason why it's given the effect of a little bit powdery, cakey thing. Now let's talk about my right eye. This is L.A.Girl concealer, and I really love my under eye area. It feels seamless, very lightweight. I don't really have a lot of the concealer in the fine lines. I don't really think I have any concealer underneath my eyes. Let me just check this out one more time. Yeah, it is so much better. Check this out yourself. This one is so much smoother and so much better. And this is a drugstore product, by the way. It's really, really affordable. Let's talk about my Sephora. Well, I feel like both of these concealers, I mean, Givenchy and Sephora, did a pretty good job. I don't really have any separation. I don't really have any cakiness. The coverage is still there. And it feels fine. It feels like I've been wearing some makeup for a long period of time. It's not freshly new, but not bad. As for my forehead, yeah, it is shiny. It is a little bit glossy, but it's definitely fine. For my Sephora side, for my Givenchy side, I don't really have any issues. I don't really have any problems. It looks good. It looks fine. I would pick definitely L.A.Girl concealer. It's way more affordable. You don't really get a lot of the product, but still 8 grams for the price they're asking. It's amazing. As for Givenchy, for the price, I mean, I'm disappointed, literally disappointed. I love, yeah, it's a great product, don't get me wrong, but for the under eye area and a little bit of cakiness, you don't really expect this for this price. I'm still going to be using, of course, Givenchy product. It's not bad, but if I can purchase L.A.Girl for less money, but for better quality, why not? It's still brightening, it's still covering, it's still looking gorgeous, not getting any fine lines, and I love it. It's thin liquid formula. Amazing. My recommendation is to go for a drugstore product and purchase L.A.Girl concealer. Sephora is nice. You can still go for Sephora, but I guess if you use L.A.Girl in other spots, it's going to be amazing as well. But it's too bright. Sometimes you're just going to need a little bit less brightness. That's why you can go with the Sephora concealer. As for Givenchy, yeah, if it stays in one place, it's still easy to move. It's easy to blend. The coverage is amazing. Still a little bit cakey underneath my eyes, just a tiniest bit. It doesn't really see, you can't spot it right away. But if you look up closely for this price, I'm going to look up closely. I don't really think that's a great thing. L.A.Girl is made in China. Sephora is made in France, and Givenchy is made in France. I guess the best concealer, in my opinion, is L.A.Girl. So if it's made in China, so be it. If it's a great product, why not? I'm going to see you in the next video, hopefully, guys. I really think you shouldn't waste your money on a bougie product, as I did. But it's great for you to know that you're not missing out. This drugstore product is great. I'm going to see you in the next video. Bye-bye.